Does race matter when it comes to dating? Okay, let's see this
Ever
one.
dated outside of your race?
I want to see how
Talk
how
about your
preferences
current
take
partner. What
take
race
form
am I?
here.
He's a white cis man.
And what about your partner before that?
He was a white cis man.
And then what about before that?
Before that, oh no, he was a white cis man. But ask me the one before that.
The thing is, like, I want to see if these people can correlate preference towards racism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I have.
Oh yeah.
I've dated, I'd say, every race.
Okay.
Currently dating someone outside my race right now.
My girlfriend right now is mixed.
I've dated a lot of white guys, but I've also dated Mexican guys as well.
I currently have a partner right now, and they're a white partner.
I've only dated 2 people, and my husband, my current partner, he's mixed.
And you're
Okay.
white.
I am very white, yes.
Very, very white. Okay.
What is the definition of mixed, guys?
I'm black and Asian. I've never dated anybody.
What is the
that's black or
definitions of
Asian.
mixed? I have no idea.
It's Japanese American.
Puerto Ricans.
Chinese. My husband is black.
My partner, actually, of over 10 years is black.
Have you ever dated outside your race?
I'm currently dating
Okay.
outside of my race. I'm learning a lot.
What are you learning?
White people just really love the outdoors. They like it doesn't matter if
Two
the weather's
ethnicities
bad.
having
It
a
doesn't
kid?
matter if there's bugs
Oh.
and mosquitoes everywhere. They are
Okay.
outside.
So you're telling me that it's only the first generation that matters
Get to
then.
know the other
Second gen is
cultures
just
well.
classified as
Where I
mixed.
grew up,
Okay, I
white
get you.
people were one of the minorities, so it was usual for everyone to
Okay.
date outside their race.
I grew up in Los Angeles, so there's a lot more than just white guys.
Sometimes I equate the feeling
Two ethnic groups. Okay,
whiteness
makes
to,
sense.
A lack of passion.
Wait. So you're telling me that? Okay. So it's only the first generation that matters then. For example, if I am black and then I married a white person, then our kid is mixed. Essentially, right? Or does it still matter what skin tone our kid has? What if I was Asian and I married, like, let's say I was Japanese and I married like a white person, and then he came out looking like a white person more because the genetics were stronger. So do we just like blankets label them as a mixed, or do we give them based on their looks essentially? So does it matter on the first generation only, or like how does it go? How does it
That
usually
they're
go?
not white because it makes it more interesting.
And white and black kids, I mean, and yada yada. Oh, okay.
No.
Yep.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Makes
Well, I've
sense.
only did one person, and he is like also the same mixed race makeup as me, so no.
What's your ethnicity?
My mom's white, and my dad is Mexican, white, Chinese, and Native American.
I'm biracial,
Why does
so if I were to date another black person, I don't
Okay.
consider that outside of my race, but I also don't consider dating a white person outside of my race.
But have you ever dated someone that
Okay.
wasn't white or black?
It depends on where you live
No,
and
I
types
haven't.
of people running around. Sometimes based on
It
looks, others is
hasn't
blanketed.
risen
Okay.
as an
That
opportunity.
makes sense.
Opportunity has not been there.
Never had the opportunity to.
I've had people that I've been interested in, but we just never ended up dating.
Have you ever dated outside your race?
I have not.
Why not?
I think in my younger years it was fear. And I'm not sure what that fear is defined as. And it just,
That's a
the
good
opportunities never came after a point where I didn't feel that way.
The time that I was dating a lot, I went to a school that was like very Caucasian.
So I just tend to be in spaces where there are a lot of white people.
Where I grew up, it was pretty white.
I grew up in a little tiny town.
Small town.
Small town in Kansas.
I grew up in
Okay.
Montana. There wasn't really a lot of people that were not my race.
Just the only people that I've gravitated towards they're both just happen to be white.
Considered a mixed race by Spanish
Statistically, I'm
standards, but
probably gonna
Americans,
end
I
up
am a
with a white
Latino.
person.
Okay.
That's the way of the world.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Okay.
I mean, it's just like generally people like to stick within their cultural groups because they want to feel accepted to the highest extent that they can be.
Why would you typically date within your race?
Just because it's easier to relate.
Relate to each other, I think.
I've only dated outside my race once. We just didn't see eye to eye.
I'm Latina, so I feel like other people wouldn't really get our
I love
issues
the
as
fact
much.
that in Western countries,
We're different.
wait, let me pause this real quick. I love the idea that in Western countries, race is like a huge factor. Like in Western culture or civilization, essentially is that race is like a huge modifier to you. It's basically like part of your entire personality. Like I get it that it does affect you based on how you were raised, what was the standards at your own house, what privilege you have. But I love the fact that it's always part of the label. And is she wearing a bra? I don't think she's wearing a bra. Sorry, my mind got deflected for a second. But oh my God, I'm distracted. But essentially, wait, my mind is distracted. Wait, there we go. But essentially is that I love the fact that it's just a huge factor. Like it's like, because normally, for example, like if you go here in Philippines or like in Singapore, whatever, like here in the Philippines, for example, is that it doesn't matter essentially what race you are in. Like sometimes having mixed relationships or having like a mixed partner is also a good thing. You know what I mean? Like if you have a white partner, your black partner, or a Latino partner, usually it's fine. Like people don't make a huge fuss about it. This is why like it's not being part of your label. Like your race and your ethnicity is not part of your label. Usually in Asian standards and culture, what's part of your label or what's part of your personality, I would say, is how much you make. You know, what's your job description or your title. And essentially, like, what is your last name? What clan or blood or what faction did you come from? Essentially, which is fascinating to me, because you know, like I love the fact that like race is like such a huge modifier in the Western world. Fascinating.
Our issues as much.
Finances.
Sorry, I got distracted for a second, man.
I have been predominantly dating.
I'm a guy,
men.
okay?
There's a level that we just understand each other at, and I don't have to really explain anything about my culture.
Well, in the US, it's more important, but to Europeans, it doesn't really matter as much. They're less.
Indian.
Oh, so it's mainly a US thing.
I would say that's my type, and I didn't really branch out until recently, mainly because I've had some bad experiences with Indian men.
I would say I typically date white males, to be honest.
Why do you tend to date white guys?
Kind of just a preference I've had, and for me, kind of growing up and seeing the Latino machismo
that's all right, Lich, that's all right.
culture.
I'll tell you more in DMs.
Me off.
Have you ever dated outside of your race?
Yes, I have.
I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
All the time.
Do you tend to have a preference when dating?
I don't know that I have a preference, but I've dated more white men than I have any other race.
I guess generally I tend to date white people.
I definitely have dated mostly white women.
It's a lot of white guys.
I don't think that I'm like attractive towards people outside of my race.
Why?
I don't really know.
Do you
maybe it's just preference?
No, just not white. I typically don't find Caucasian men as attractive, and I think my love of Asian food and anime and stuff kind of just translated to.
I want to be rude. I want to be rude, and I want to tell her that no Asian men would like you. But okay, okay.
I
let's move on.
love specifically Asian features. That sounds really bad.
Okay,
but
I really want to roast her, man. I really want to roast her, but
So
I'm not.
Often white.
This is gonna go to YouTube anyway. I don't want to get
The hair
canceled.
color that I'm looking for.
I don't like. I like alternative indie guys, and that's who
Parrot,
tends to be,
Parrot,
you
no.
know, kind of on the edgier sides.
Have you ever dated outside of your race?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It depends on the character of the person.
As I was,
Oh,
like,
dude,
starting
she's
to
chill.
date
I like
everything,
her, man. She's
realized
chill.
I didn't really have a
Do it full
preference.
send. I'm not gonna do it, man. After the video gets recorded, then we do it.
There's a lot more that I can connect with.
So if you guys want to go for the full unhinged rant, visit me at twitch.tv ryozenreed VT, okay?
Literally misconstrued.
Great marketing pull.
A requirement.
Have you ever dated outside your race?
Yes.
Did that cause any conflict within your relationship?
Not really. I think there were
Okay.
some aspects of his culture that like I tried to understand that
Okay.
I didn't just because it's not my own.
Have you ever dated outside of your race?
I have.
Has that caused any tension with your family?
Not with my family particularly,
Okay.
but oftentimes with the other person's family.
My family is racist, so I was apprehensive about bringing her home, but her family was super welcoming to me, so it wasn't.
What do
an
you
issue
mean
on
full
that
blown
side.
racial
I
rants
mean,
only
I
on
was dating
Twitch?
this,
What do you mean?
guy who was black in high school.
What do you mean?
And you know, I was telling my mom who he was, and she was
Okay.
like, "But he's black." So I think there's a lot of like implicit bias that I do think kind of
Okay.
stems from my parents.
I guess my lifestyle is a little bit different from theirs.
I mean, no one says anything, but you just get the looks, you know.
I've had black partners in the past that have asked me,
Man, I like her
if the
hair.
cops pull us over, you got to take the lead a little bit because
Her hair
it's
is
just
pretty.
a little scary. And same thing goes for like
So
when
with
the
her
height
shirt.
of ICE detainment was going on.
She has
I had a
um,
Hispanic
sh-
partner.
cool
and we had a
shirt,
long
cool
talk
hair. I
about
like her.
What that looked like for their family, etc.
Have you ever dated outside of your race?
Yeah, my current wife, she's born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I'm from the States.
Any cultural differences?
Definitely your type. Yeah, I could see
She
that.
makes fun of my language all the time. Like if I think something's really fun, I'll be like, "Ooh, that's a hoot and a half," and she says that is just too silly.
Did you see yourself ending up with someone of a specific race?
I think in the hindsight, no.
but for like years, I was told by family, you gotta stay in the race.
They want me to date someone who also understands my culture, because, you know, with me dating white men, generally, like, it's just harder for them to understand certain things.
Okay,
If I
that
want to
makes
listen
sense.
to my heart,
I mean, like,
it's good with me. But if I listen to my
I
family,
mean, like, if you're gonna ask me, I think that everybody has a preference. But even though everyone has a preference, the family factor always kind of plays like a few like plays into it always. Like for me, example for me is that I think I've told you guys this before, but my preference is always Asian because I don't want the Western culture, you know, the whole divorce thing, how normalized divorce is, to be a fact of that. And aside from that, you know, let's just say because of, you know, how I was raised here in Asia, we expect, you know, women, you know, your partner to be more of a bigger piece in your life compared to Western standards. So like, yeah, I kind of do have Asian preferences. And here's the thing is that if I probably dated someone outside of my race, for example, you know, parents are going to get angry. Like pissed off, like they would be like, "What? You know, they're gonna judge us. They won't understand. They're not willing to pursue and continue the culture and tradition that we have." Like I kind of can see it though, but maybe in more like first world countries, like a country that is more globalized, I feel like it doesn't matter too much, and what matters is like if you love the person more. I don't know. It's definitely hard to say though, because like there's a lot of factor that comes into it. But I do feel like if you're dating a person, if you have preference towards a specific race, it's not racist. Like it's not racist because it's just your preference. It doesn't matter. Like I feel like being racist because you like a specific race makes you a little bit like it's not. Yeah, I agree with Anubis. Thank you. I agree with Anubis. It's none of their business essentially. What happens in the bedroom or what happens on whoever you're holding your hand with, it doesn't matter essentially, because it's not like they're gonna pay for your wedding, right? Doesn't matter, man.
It's not so good.
I think Asians are pretty hot. Well, I think everyone's pretty
family, and I was always told
racially. I've used to date an American before. He's chill. Yeah, everybody has a different
Would you
preference.
feel any pressure from your parents to date a certain race?
No, I mean, I'm mixed. So my dad's white, my mom's Asian.
Do you get pressure from your mom at all?
No, honestly, she's more like marry someone who comes from a good family, has like passion, good work, makes money.
It was mainly pressure to stay away from anybody ever and just like focus on getting good grades and going to school.
The only like criteria that I've seen them have is that they really want someone that is outdoorsy.
Have you ever dated someone outside of your race?
Yes, it's cool when you're dating people from different backgrounds because you can get a sense of culture that you probably would never get a sense of originally.
I'm more into people. Like if they're cool and we click, then it's cool.
I go for people who have sweet personalities and
My
kind
God,
hearts.
I like his style.
Discriminate.
That's a cool style. But yeah, anyway, I think to summarize this entire video, it doesn't matter what your race is. Maybe if you're living in the far-flung areas of the world, in a third world country, or maybe in like the Middle East, like maybe it matters, but generally it doesn't. Especially with the advent of the internet nowadays, and you know how woke culture is now being propagated, I would say that doesn't really matter too much. Like your race preference doesn't matter too much. Like if you like a specific race, that doesn't make you racist. It's just preference. The moment you start saying that specific race is superior, then that's when you get racy. You know what I mean? That's what I would say at least. Yeah. But anyway, I think that's a good video. Don't worry, I'm gonna rant. Okay, wait a minute, boys. It's time for my rant. It's time for my rant, but we'll end this video first, okay? So thank you guys for watching. We'll next move on to the next one, okay? Okay, so here's my